It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down. It's going. It's going down. It's going. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Tiddy Pow Wow with your girl, Berta Joan, and my best homie pod mate, Quisha Denise.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
So,
welcome back to the Tiddy Pow Wow.
welcome back. We missed y'all. We was gone last week, right?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we had to take a little break. So, what's been going on with you, Miss Bernica Joan?
Oh, just it's busy season, so it's everything under the sun coming my way. Just trying to juggle it all and make everything happen, but it's good to be busy, so
Right.
I'm happy.
I know. I'm trying to scale back a little bit.
Yeah.
But so what's up, everybody? Today we wanted to delve into a topic that was really sparked by a meme we saw recently. I guess it wasn't even a meme; it was a quote by David Banner.
It was a video. He was on the Breakfast
He
Club.
was on the Breakfast Club, right? Yeah. But I actually seen the quote written out.
Oh, okay.
But he was talking about music, 95% of the music being detrimental to the Black community, and I just thought that was very interesting. As a person who loves music to my core, I could totally do without TV. I was like, wow, because when you think about the things that the music that's being put out there right now and the messages that are being sent, maybe there's a lot of validity to what he has to say.
Yeah. No, I totally understand. And I think he was saying too that it's the Black music, like the Black artists that are producing this music that we're listening to. It's, so detrimental. And when you think about it, there's really no other genre of music that gets as vulgar and as violent and as obscene, with the lyrics as rap music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and not even rap. I mean, even some of the R&B is a bit, a lot to handle. I think growing up, music was more discreet. Like, you knew that they were talking about having sex. Like when you listen to music like Let's Get It On, we were young. We were so young when that stuff came out that we might have just rocking to the beat. But later on, you understood those lyrics as you became an adult. I think now music doesn't leave anything for the imagination. So, it's just a lot going on when it comes to, really. And it's crazy because I love certain music. Like, I like listening to Cardi B. I like listening to a lot of different rappers. But I'm mature enough in my mind to separate what's real from what's fake, and even separate, like, even as an adult, knowing adult things, like appreciating adult things.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I want my son listening to that? You know what I'm saying? No. But I have to beat on the bathroom door to tell him to cut off certain stuff because that's what all the kids are listening to now.
Yeah, I think about on Mike at stand-up comedy when he's like, well, the music's so crazy. How do we get to, oh, girl, I'll be in trouble if you left me now, to I was getting some head.
How did we get there?
How did we get there? Like,
I blame the drug era for a lot of stuff. Because I feel like that's where the culture changed. And I think that's where, and that was the 90s. That's where the culture changed, and that is where the art, how art started to imitate life. But life wasn't all peaches and cream for a lot of people, so they was expressing that in the music. They were talking about different things in the music, and then it just seems like the crowd ate it up. So the more vulgar they got, and the more angry they were in the music, the more people wanted to listen to it. And so they gave the world what they wanted.
Right. And then just, going from being, back then when you think about the Temptations and you think about the Jackson 5 and, the old school groups, they were more trying to like finesse women and woo women with their music.
Right.
Now it's all about degradation of women.
Right. I think they understood the value of women. Like the value of if you have a culture of people that start to degrade the women, the creators, in their culture, like the life givers in their culture, like you really have torn down that culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the women are so important. So how do you just see me? How do you just objectify me as a piece of ass?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that I'm not a mother or a person that's contributing to the community. But those are the different things that I feel like have now, even with me having daughters, and when I listen to the music that these young men are growing up listening to, I wonder what type of men they will run into, the mindsets of the men that they will end up, dating.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure that they know the real from the fake. They're going to know what a king is supposed to look like, but I'm just wondering how many kings are they going to get to run into?
Yeah, exactly. And then, I just love me some Tupac. And when he kind of really pretty much foretold the way that the music was going. In his Keep Your Head Up song, he goes, and since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and I gained from a woman, I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women. Do we hate our women? I think it's time to kill for our women. Be time to heal our women. Be real to our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that will hate the ladies and make the babies.
And that's exactly what's going on.
That's it. He never lied about all of that. And it's so... it's just so sad the way the world has gone to, because when you think about somebody like him and then, of course, Nipsey, I mean, like it's a whole different breed, a dime breed,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Nipsey's like, I'm not like you other rap niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he praised his woman. He, I'm not going to say that he didn't have, some negative or some violent, connotations in there. He might have said bitch in there.
Nah, he actually, because I know in that one song, even last time I checked, he said first you get the money, then the respect, and then the hoes come next or something like that. So I don't think I quoted that exactly right, but it was something to that effect. Yeah. So I mean, he referred to women as hoes in his music,
but he might not. But with him,
but there are women out here who are hoes,
and that are,
or that they present themselves in a way that makes them seem like they hoes.
Yeah. Or just even maybe like groupies, you know what I'm saying? Chicks that he know that probably wouldn't check for him if he wasn't who he was,
Mm-hmm.
But because now that he's this rapper, he has these women flocking to him.
Right. And I think when I'm trying to say like what a hoe to me, I guess in my mind would be is like someone who, just allows their body to be a hoe. Like you don't have any expectations from nobody else that is entering you or being in your life in a sexual manner or whatever, but you just giving yourself to multiple like people. I don't know. I guess. So when they talk about hoes, I guess there are hoes around.
Yeah.
But it's almost like those are the women that seem to be gravitated to even in the music and stuff. So, even these little girls are going to present themselves in a way that is what they think men want.
But then also, I feel like when you now where we are, like when you have a group of rappers and they have this ego because of who they are and what platform they are. When I think about the Kodak Blacks and the Futures and the ones that I really don't really listen to and funk with it.
Yeah, they seem
I feel like
ignorant,
disrespectful. Mm-hmm. To me. Those are the type of men that would classify every woman they meet as a hoe. You know what I mean? And would disrespect every woman. I don't feel like really at the end of the day, a prostitute on the corner deserves respect.
Yeah.
A prostitute on the corner don't deserve somebody calling her out of her name or thinking they can grope or grab her, but I feel like this is the culture that we live in now. And so when women present themselves a certain way, men feel like they have the power to either say anything about it, or act any way they want to because of how you putting yourself out there. And I believe to a certain extent, women can bring that upon themselves, but this culture has just allowed men to feel like they can, disrespect women. And a lot of it comes from the music. I mean, because you say the words, you rap the words, and then it almost becomes a form of your speech. You hear bitch, bitch, bitch in a song, and then after a while, instead of saying females, it's bitches. And I've had even like family members like close to me, be talking about females, but they saying bitches are hoes, and I'm just like, well, wait a minute, like, don't forget who you talking to. Like,
and I have heard dudes refer to they women as my bitch, like, yeah, my bitch, she would have done this or whatever, and it's just like, who is dating these guys? Like, they make them feel like they can say it and it'd be okay. But I think our music has definitely impacted just how we process things mentally and what we think about just the morality of things.
But when you think about, Lil Kim and Nicki and all the, Trina, when I'm the baddest bitch, I'm a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you calling yourself a bitch or we calling ourselves bitches, then how else do we expect, the men to, what do we expect them to, call us or to refer to us as if we refer to our own self as a bitch?
Right. Because then you're okay in them doing it to you.
Exactly.
But like even with Cardi B, I feel like with her being married, to me, I love the way she sounds and I love her beats. I don't always necessarily like what she's talking about, or because it's like she always got to take it up a notch just to be vulgar, you know what I'm saying, in whatever. Like, it just seems like, and maybe I'm judgmental because I mean I grew up in my teenage years. I spent my teenage years with a conservative pastor and his wife, so my views on a lot of stuff are probably a little more conservative than some people around me. But I just feel like certain things should be preserved for whoever you with. Like, if you want to be dirty and vulgar and talk nasty and whatever, like, to me that should be shared between like two people.
Or your group of friends, your closest friends in an intimate setting, not on Facebook Live or on a video, especially video, something that can be reposted and shared.
Yeah, because I seen a picture of her recently, her and Offset, and it looked like she was like getting down on her knees to like give him head. So it was like, or perform oral sex on him, for those who don't know what head is. And so even when I seen that, I'm like they married. Like, it's just, marriage is honorable and, the bedroom undefiled. Like, this is not the bedroom though.
But that's what people want to see. People want to see that.
They want to see porn.
They want to see it. Like she said, like, yeah, and she says it. I mean, I told Offset we could sell that porn. I mean, basically that's what it is. And that's what she knows, like the twerk video that she was in. They knew that video. I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about the lyrics of the video, and it's not even like, I mean, there's nothing to it but a whole lot of girls twerking. But do you know how many views, millions of views that video has just because of the shock? People love shock value. Mm-hmm. So that's what sells. And if they know that, it's just if they hear it's a bunch of body painted girls and they're twerking, even if that's all it is, and there's, there could be another video that's, just scripted out well and, choreographed and have all the perfect dance moves and everything in order. And that twerk video will still surpass that one just because of the content of it. People don't want to really see, good and choreographed and wholesome and modest. They want to see vulgar,
It's almost like, and now, even when we're talking about Kodak Black and some of them, it's almost like you don't even have to have talent. No. You just can talk shit. You don't have to have talent. And so,
or it's just their talent isn't my cup of tea. Because some people say, Kodak Black is a good rapper. But I'm just like, I've never even gave him a chance just because of his persona. But going back to Cardi, I think about too, when you were saying like the message, like I do agree on some things. It's like, I remember when she was talking about healthcare and, they was like, oh, Cardi for president, which I think is laughable because ain't no way in the world I would ever vote for Cardi for president.
Exactly.
But when she was talking about, using her platform of her voice to talk about, the healthcare system and Trump and this and that. And she could have, I understood where she was going. And what just baffles me is that they even shared this clip of her talking about this on like several like large like networks. Mm-hmm. But basically she's like, yeah, because, you want to go clean your, basically saying the vagina, but the P word, if you want to go clean your pee and I'm just like, whoa, like, but people were sharing that, like, it was such a good message and I understood where she was going. but just the delivery. Like, does it have to be so vulgar, Cardi? But I also understand too, I have to look at, she's 25 or 26. And the culture in which she comes from, that's nothing to say. To me, I don't like even using the P word. You know what I'm saying? I say twat. And maybe that's an old word I got from my mom, honey.
I think I say coochie.
Yeah, coochie, twat, coochie, pocketbook. But the P word is just so like, it's so gross. But I mean, she, people say that in everyday talk, and I just be like, cringing, because I think it's just a little too much. But I don't know. I don't know.
I think just the messages can be very they can just convolute the minds of the young people,
and that's what
because they are not at a maturity rate to decipher that this is just a song, or this is just something to bump to for right now. That these messages are like going into their minds and becoming what they believe is like moral and right.
Yeah.
And so and you got a whole culture of kids that are not even being raised like in any religion. You know what I mean? Like we might not have adhered to what we were taught and stuff like that, but we had at least some type of foundation. But they don't have anything but this and what you teach them at home. But I don't know, but I know throughout history, there has been attempts to try to censor music anyway. And back then, even in the 90s, you'd be like, they just trying to keep us from seeing stuff because we Black. You know what I mean? But now, as a grown woman who has children, I look back and be like, I understand, where you don't want, because it's mainstream. Like we used to have to buy the CD. We used to have to buy the album to even hear the cuss words and hear everything. But now even the radio doesn't really censor. It censors like the last part of the word or the front part. Like you still know exactly what's being said. Even a kid would know what's being said, if they've heard that word before. Yeah. So it's like there's no protection. I guess some people would be like, well, you are supposed to manage what your kids listen to. But when it's all around you, it's impossible.
Yeah, you would have to have your kids live in a bubble, at this day and age, because it's everywhere. It's on the TV. The kids have it on their phones, on the bus. So even if your kid don't have a phone and don't have access to be able to download the music on their phone, the kid next to them might have the music, be playing it on the back of the bus, and they hear it. And like I say, when it comes to like sex and all of that, I feel like all of that, of course, is, it's a time and place for everything. And I feel like children be exposed to things, at an appropriate age, I guess, according to whatever their parents feel.
I really think it's according to their own maturity, because people mature at different rates. Yeah. So every 12 or 13-year-old ain't 12 or 13 in their mind. Yeah. Or even as because they say 13 is PG movies and all that kind of stuff, or after 13 or whatever. I mean, what is it? PG up to 13, and then after that you can watch certain things. But I don't know. I just feel like I love music, so sometimes I do want to hear something. Like you said, when we were talking earlier, you saying when you're at the gym, you want to hear stuff that has dope beats.
I'm gonna put it on Lil Wayne's radio, because Lil Wayne is always, a Millie's always gonna get me going. I'm gonna be burning some real hard calories on that sauna listening to a Millie.
Stunting like my daddy.
Exactly. Or Nikki. Nikki's definitely gonna get me there. So I mean, and like you said, I'm at a place where I'm mentally mature enough to be able to decipher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can listen to something like, these lyrics ain't about nothing, but this beat goes hard.
Exactly. But when getting back on the kids, I think the issue with that, I think my biggest issue, like I say, sex has always been in music. To me, that's not the biggest issue when it comes to, I feel like more importantly, the biggest thing, especially now, is the drugs.
Yes.
The popping the pills, the Percocets, the lean.
They trying to normalize it.
They're normalizing it like it's okay, and it's not.
Right. And that's addiction.
Straight addiction, straight junkies, out here trying to make it seem cool, and it's not cool at all. And that, I think, is just the biggest thing, because they making kids think that it's okay to pop pills, or on the weekends that's the thing to do. And there are kids out here, that's not even just our Black kids, a lot of them, a lot of white kids, they have the pill parties, go in your mom's medicine cabinet and bring everything that they have in there, bring some stuff to the party, and everybody taking pills. So this isn't just, our culture, but just universal. Like it's being presented like it's, like it's the new weed, and it's not.
Right.
I ain't never heard nobody overdosing on no weed, but mixing pills together and all of that, I can't. I just, that is a recipe for disaster. And when you're dealing with kids who are easily impressionable and, just very immature minds, you just, something so innocent they think can turn into a tragedy.
And I think it all goes together too, because even if you think about the drugs, and then a lot of people when they're on drugs, they are reckless sexually, have reckless sexual behavior. And then, I mean, there's a lot of different sorry, she's over here being silly. But there are a lot of just the behaviors that come with that.
Yeah.
So anyway, you made me laugh, made me lose my train of thought, but it's okay. You so silly.
I mean, like, seriously, people get violent and stuff, off the wrong things, and
yeah,
you can mess around and kill somebody,
right?
Because you just don't went there mentally. But that's going off like to a whole totally different. But yeah, when you were talking about like working out, like I have to get my mind. I can't be listening to no Maxwell as much as I love Maxwell, but I need something to pump me up when I'm in the gym working out. Trying to, get my mojo going.
I just wish that there was people that could deliver content that's just as hot, without all of it. You know what I mean?
And
there are some, but you just don't hear them in mainstream because they want that to be out there.
And that's the problem.
But it has dumbed down the Black culture. Even in the eyes of outsiders, people look at us and think, they see those stereotypes that they hear about in the music.
Yeah.
And it's not consistent with our culture.
Yeah.
To that extent anyway.
Yeah, I think about, because I'm always giving little references. Even with music, we're talking about music, we're talking about movies, whatever. I think about, I love Eddie Murphy Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite stand-ups. Plus, he recorded that the year I was born, 87. You better know it. But he said, yeah, the little guy, he said, yeah, I got foreigners coming over here. Like, you the fuck you man, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Eddie Murphy is so talented, but he was right. He's like, he trying to act like all I do is cuss and, F you, say F you. But I mean, really, if you think about it, like that's how someone from Asia, he said it was an Asian dude, like represented him as the fuck you man. Like that's all that you talk about. And I just feel like, that's somehow like, even for me, certain rappers, I'm just like, here, let me cut this off. Future, I can't take it. Because no content. I guess if you on the in that vibe.
Maybe I'm getting old or I just don't keep up with who's singing what. But what does Future even? What's his like hottest songs?
The only song I know is a song he got with Rihanna.
Which song is that?
I can't even tell you the name of it, but I can probably hum it to you. That's the thing. Like
I just know him as Amber Roses. Ain't that? Is that? No. Who is Future?
Oh my God.
No, that's
Sierra's
Sierra. That's what I meant. Don't do me like that. They both have dreads. Don't they?
No. Oh, I guess
Wiz Khalifa. They do. Wiz Khalifa. That's what I was getting mixed up with. Don't do me like that.
No, don't you ever mix Wiz up with Future. Because Wiz is alright.
I don't know how I feel about him.
Wiz is so West Coast. I think that's why I like him. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like it's such a like a fine tooth comb because I can sit here and preach, to my kid or tell Peyton, I don't want you to listen to that. Don't play that music with that. But then I'm gonna be sitting here bopping to it.
I know, but the difference is what we just talked about is that your mind knows how to decipher what's BS and what's what. Like the kids, they taking that in, and there are, even if you look at the younger rappers, they are like becoming everything that is talked about. You know what I mean? Or at least glorifying it. And I feel like when we were listening to Pac, when we were listening to Biggie, they were talking about their real lives. Now you have rappers that are making up lives to rap about. You know what I'm saying? To promote the drugs, to promote the violence. So,
I see Marquise wrote a comment. He said, music allows us to stomach the distasteful.
It does. It does. And that's what it is, because we're not paying attention to those lyrics as much when that beat is hot.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And it's funny. I remember when we went to Atlanta to like it was her show to an after party, and my mom and my auntie was there. And my mom, a Jehovah's Witness, she just, she cursed in her former life, but she kind of moved past that. But I remember we was at a little after party and they was playing, what was her name? Kaya, My Neck, My Back. And I just could not believe my mama was up there getting down to My Neck, My Back. And I was like, she cannot possibly hear the words. And that's what I asked. I was like, do you know this song? When she got, I was like, no, I don't know the song, but the beat was good. I'm like, girl, had you heard them words, you would have ran up out of here. Lord jeez.
But but that's how it is too. Like even with Tweet and her Southern Hummingbird album. That album was fire. But what they put on the radio, oops, there goes my shirt up over my head. Yeah. Just talking about just the most sexual song she had on her album. And that album really did not get the play that it should have gotten. It didn't even get the notoriety. It does amongst people who love music, but it didn't do as well on the charts because of the type of music, I guess, that it is.
But like they say, sex sells. Sex sells. Violence sells, cursing sells, anything that's going to get a shock or get that wow, these days, that's what people want. And that's what a lot of people are putting out here. I mean, I really hate to say it, but I mean, this generation coming up, I mean, it's just doomed.
I know my sister has a new song that she been writing, and the lyrics was so, sexual. And I was like, Brittany, like, this is a bit much, and then it makes me feel old because I'm just like, no, but I mean, when I was younger, I loved all that, but I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And I guess I only pay attention to them as much now. Because when it comes to, I don't listen to a lot of stuff with that's upward beats anyway, unless I'm in the gym. Like most of my music is vibe music. So I listen to a lot of like SZA and her and, just people that got a vibe. Yeah. I don't just sit around listening to rap.
Right.
It has to be a dope album. Like I do listen to Drake like it, but I don't feel like his rap it don't sound like everybody else's to me. I love his lyrical wordplay. Yes, you know what I mean? Definitely. So being somebody who loves poetry, like hearing the way he puts his words together is just dope to me. So he's one of the hottest rappers to me when it comes to talent.
Yes, he really is, because every Drake album goes so hard.
And I guess I like because he shows his emotions too. He's not just up here trying to act hard and tough.
Light skin.
He light skinned. It's okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Sometimes you want that.
Us light skinned people are kind of emotional.
Yeah.
So but that's what I love. I love hearing his music because I can hear those vulnerable moments. And even Pac had vulnerable moments. Yes. He might have went hard at times, but it was based off real experiences. He was more of a storyteller to me. And but he also had those moments where he was able to be vulnerable, like, talking about his mother, talking about, Brenda's got a baby. That was a classic. Where he, talking about teenage pregnancy, you know what I'm saying, and how the community was dealing with that.
And him just being a visionary and seeing the way that the world was going and what direction that it was going. And I felt like through his music, he was kind of trying to bring that back in, or at least try to, show that, show his variety, show his style, to show that there's a different way you can do it. I mean, in his culture and in his world, cussing, you know what I'm saying? To me, cussing really ain't even that big of an issue because people curse, you know what I'm saying? And there's no culture really that people don't curse, but it's about how you deliver it. And I think, he cursed to kind of, tell his story, but I feel like now it's just like redundant, like every other word. And then it's just, just like I say, the vulgarity. And I remember watching, what is her name? The troll, the one I was talking about.
Who?
Azalea Banks. I had a brain fart. And I can say all I ever know is how to be a troll online. I always go on people's comments and posts, saying stuff. But when I watch her on The Breakfast Club, it made me look at her in a different way. Because Charlamagne, you know how he is. He was kind of going at her, trying to get her. But she's very articulate. And he kept saying, you remind me of Nikki, which she did kind of remind me because they do speak the same. They went to the same high school, the Performing Arts LaGuardia. So, their music is an art. And I think that's how I always end up differentiating her and Cardi when people want to compare the two. I'm like, Cardi's good, don't get me wrong, but Nikki is the queen because Nikki has mastered the art of what it is that she went to school for. And she's been in this game so long. So she's very much mastered it. Now, Cardi, I like her personality, or part of her personality from what I've seen. And I feel like Cardi can do exactly what somebody tells her to do. Like, rap these lyrics. This is the video we're going to do. This is the vision for it. We're going to do this. I don't think that Cardi in her, I don't feel like she is that much of a visionary to be able to, with the artist part of it, to be able to put it all together like Nicki does. So that's the difference for me. I like Cardi's personality a little bit better, but I feel like Nicki is an artist. I just like her as a better artist. We're not going to debate it. That's just what it is.
I mean, I'm not saying that. I don't even think that you really wrong about that though.
Yeah. But talking about Azalea Banks, what she was saying was, because I think she was talking about how she loved Nicki too, and just her style, her music. But she was asking when it came to Cardi, and of course they was getting into the whole, she really didn't want to go into the whole colorism topic, but I know that was part of it.
Yeah.
But she was saying like, I just don't understand when did, because she feels like I went to school for this. I put in, real hard work to try to make it to the next level, but because of what her content and her music is, she feel like she hasn't popped off. But she was like, when did vulgarity and when did being uncouth become cool? Yeah. And that's so true. You know what I mean? Like, love Cardi, but she does a lot of uncouth things.
Is uncouth.
So uncouth to where if she was in my area, yesterday. I wouldn't even want her to be in my area.
I guess she was talking about somebody posting her and she was like, y'all don't post nothing positive about me and my nigga. And I'm like, that's your husband.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
why?
25 years old, at 25 years old, that's what you refer to your man as. Most women do.
Yeah.
So
that's if you've been raised like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know that I can be judgmental in certain ways. So that's why I try to see deeper, like even when I'm considering that she's from a different world. I mean, even having been a stripper for years, like she's been exposed to a whole nother world that I don't even know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? At a very young age. Yeah. So
anybody that has, to me, that has no problem bending over and showing their body parts to strange people has no problem saying the things that come out of her mouth. That's nothing to her. It's second nature. So
right.
You can definitely kind of, if you look at it that way, you understand. But you have to think about this is a person that is influencing our younger generation of women. Like people are coming up wanting to look like Cardi, dress like Cardi, talk like her. She's very influential. So if she is the voice of our young generation, when it comes to the females, like, it's almost like, we see what direction that this could go into.
But I feel like a lot of artists have the attitude of, it's not my responsibility to be appropriate for your children. You know what I mean? They don't even take their platform seriously, because even if it's not your responsibility, if it's not like what you're trying to do as far as influence kids in a negative way, you have to be real about the fact that they're being influenced regardless, and that you are the person that's having that type of influence on them, or that this culture is having that type of influence on them, the culture of music. So I don't understand why they try to get defensive and get upset because people be like, hey, you're a role model. Whether you want to be or not, you are, because people are looking up to you.
But I also think too that they feel like they're human beings and they didn't sign up for that. I know, like, I remember, but they didn't. Like, I remember Rihanna saying in an interview, she was like, I came here when I was 15, and she wanted to do her music. She said, all I want to do was make music. She said, I didn't ask to be a role model to girls. She's like, I'm still learning myself. Like, I'm learning as I go. But when I make mistakes, everybody out here makes mistakes in the world. But when I make mistakes, I'm like crucified for it because of who I am. But I didn't ask to be a role model. I just wanted to make music for people. And then also when it comes to like, even with her, like I remember somebody made a post like talking about her because they was like at an after party for Grammys or something. And she was like smoking a blunt. And people was like, oh my God, Rihanna, like she just, she smokes weed wherever. And granted, I think they was in LA where it's, recreational. But she was like, first of all, that's my culture. Like smoking weed is like part of their culture. It's like an everyday thing. It's like maybe how cigarettes are so big here in Barbados, they smoke weed. And she said, so it was not a big thing for me then, but I'm also grown and it's legal in California. So I can smoke wherever I want to. You know what I'm saying?
What's the big deal?
It was the big deal, but the world, the society was looking at it, it's being negative. But for her, she's like, this is who I am. I'm 27 years old. If I want to smoke a blunt, I can smoke a blunt, and who's gonna have a problem with it?
Right. But even the big deal is that even if that's not what she quote unquote signed up for, she knew that came with the territory. People know that being famous comes with paparazzi. They know that it comes with judgment, that people are paying attention to every little thing that you do. And so, yeah, even though you make mistakes like other people, they still gonna be magnified because you know that that's what comes with their lifestyle. But
yeah, I think for me though, I the reason why I understand is because maybe before I had kids, I probably wouldn't have cared what nobody thought about what I did, and I don't care if your mama sees it, your granny, your kids. Had your kids, had your mama, had your granny if they don't want to see it. But when you have kids, when you're a mother, you look at things totally different. Now, there are certain things that I wouldn't do now that I probably would have done back then. You know what I mean? Before I had kids. But now it's a totally different world. So for her being someone that doesn't have kids, she really doesn't care. She's like, as long as my mama's okay with it, probably. I don't care what nobody else thinks about what I do. But if she has kids, I'm sure she may want to then cover up or, change the way that she moves. But I mean, I feel like Rihanna's actually perfect.
I think Rihanna's I mean, I don't see her in the way that I see Cardi B.
As far as what?
Like I don't see, like with Cardi B, one, like you said, when you become a mother, so I'm starting to view Cardi B as like, now you got a responsibility to be a little different. It seems like you would be, as not even just a mother, but as a wife too. Like I just don't understand what husband would appreciate his wife being like it. But
I think, and it really took me for a loop, which I know you have to look at entertainment, even with Beyonce, she's been married to Jay-Z for 10 plus years, but she still bends over and has her little, what is it called? Her little leotard on with her butt out and her cheeks out.
I'm tired of them leotards.
I know.
I just feel like, who's her style person? Because I'm just ready to see her like
it's
really
part of dance. It's part of the dance world. They wear leotards, so she just like blings hers up, razzle dazzles hers up to make it.
But I think it just starts to look like she just has on the same thing, different color, different bling. But I just would love to see her. I do see on Instagram she posts pictures of more fashionable things.
But in dance, it's probably more comfortable for her.
Yeah, because she's a performer, But I don't know. I guess I don't see Rihanna in that way because I guess Rihanna doesn't have children, but also it might be the way that she delivers it that makes me excuse the
she put that little twang on it and makes it okay.
It seems very sexy, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Like if I did a comparison, no, I'm not gonna do that for comparison because I'm like, I ain't gonna do it. But I just see them as different types of women.
Most definitely.
So that's where the difference is.
Well, because I feel like Rihanna,
she's classier.
She has a classiness and just even the way she, even the way she delivers it, the way she talks, she can say anything and it's gonna sound sexier than the way Cardi says it because Cardi's hood. Cardi doesn't have good vernacular, so it's gonna sound a lot more cheesy coming from Cardi than it does from Rihanna. And I said it, so there you go.
Good.
I have no problem saying
because I don't want to just be like super judgmental, but I do see Cardi as kind of like a bottom chick in certain ways that has come up. You know what I mean? And her talents and things.
Her mixtape is called Gangsta Bitch Volume 1, Gangsta Bitch Volume 2. So she knows that she's a gangsta bottom bitch,
But the fact that she's taking it on as something to be proud of is what bothers me, I guess.
But you have to realize where she comes from.
Yeah.
That's where she comes from. I guess too, it's, music's all about being authentic. People love you. People want authentic people.
That's what I like about her.
Yes.
Over Nicki Minaj. Is Nicki Minaj seems disingenuous and very measured in everything that she says and does. Whereas, but I understand that too, because part of it is probably being guarded or not letting people get to know you too much so that they can use whatever they know about you against you or, exploit your vulnerabilities and stuff. So I think that she kind of gives off a persona.
But just like if you think about Lady Gaga, I feel like it's the same way. They all went to the same school, LaGuardia, to where Nicki is a performer. She's a true artist. So who she is, if she presents herself on the stage and all that she does, that's who she is presenting to herself. Who she is at home, totally different person.
Right. And I understand that.
But Cardi, who she is on home, TV, interviews, she's all the same person. And that can be a good thing, but then it also can be detrimental because how do you separate You know, that's why she's on live doing rants about the Shade Room, because she shouldn't even care what the Shade Room is posting.
If I was at her level, I wouldn't care what nobody was posting.
But see, she got there so quick, she don't even realize what level that she's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Beyonce's not going to be responding to any, you know, of those tabloids saying that her babies are funny looking, all the crazy things they say about Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Right. But that's the maturity.
Yes, but the maturity. She's not gonna respond to it, and she could care less about it. But Cardi is like taking it, and I hate to even make this like a conversation about Cardi, but I guess because she is one of the biggest.
She's just an example that we're using. I like Cardi. I wish that she would learn some class.
But you have to realize who's in her area. Who does she have around her that can help her class up? Because really, at the end of the day, when you think about R. Kelly, we can go into that conversation. The people he had around him and the people that they have around, she has around her, they're benefiting off her being exactly who she is in this moment. And if that's who's making money, the vulgar, you know,
they're gonna keep on promoting.
They're gonna push it. Nobody's gonna tell her, girl, you need to class up a little bit. You need to know, maybe that's why they threw a little Chanel suit on her to make.
Well, they
class
do.
Up.
That's what I was gonna say. When she's been wearing like classier clothing, and she does have a great sense of style.
Yeah.
I don't know unless somebody's telling her to put that on, but she's a stylist or whatever. But she does dress really nice.
She can definitely clean it up, and she's pretty. She can definitely do it. But then, like I say, what killed me probably was after she I know she was like after she had the baby, and she did that
twerk video.
No, it wasn't even the twerk video.
What?
It was a performance with Partisan. The party dude, the one she got the back it up song
yes,
on.
Was she pregnant?
She wasn't pregnant. She had just had the baby. And I think that was just her way to show, like, I'm bounced back. But
I feel like I remember her twerking pregnant in a white suit.
She did that on Coachella last year.
Yeah.
That was last year. But that wasn't even what did it for me. It was after she had the baby. And I want to say it was the BET Awards or Billboard, one of the awards. And she performed that video with Party. And she was literally like, he's standing up and she's like on the ground twerking and bending over and shaking her butt. I mean, it's like bouncing. And he was like right behind her. And to me, I cringed because I'm like, where was your husband at when you was doing that? You know, because I mean, it's at that point, I feel like at that level, once you're married, once you are who you are, she should have just been standing there maybe bopping and had the other dancers on the floor twerking they behinds. Why are you twerking your butt in front of a man that's not your husband and he's close to you for a performance? It shouldn't have been that serious. Exactly. I feel like you could have still got the same reaction.
The same money,
letting the other girls twerk, the dancers twerk for you. So I felt like it was just a little bit too much, just considering how close he was to where if he literally wanted to bend over and touch her butt, that's how close he was. And you're a married woman. So to me, yes, that does change things. But you also realize the culture that they in. You know, we in a culture where, you know, people share their husbands and people, you know, give their husbands free passes and all this and that. So, you know, nothing is really sacred anymore when it comes to, I mean, like I said, I feel like last year she was just right after she had the baby, letting him like test her to make sure she was, you know, ready to go again on live. Like he was basically fondling her on live. And
for
like,
real?
Yes.
I must have missed that.
And I would have
really judged that.
Well, and it did for me. It really made
like
me
you tripping. Yeah. But it's like you said, I think the one of the most important things that you just said is that she doesn't even know the level that she's on. Because we say it all the time, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
But even as somebody that grew up in the hood, right, and then being in this professional world, sometimes I still struggle with who my identity of who I want to be in this world up here, because I'm from her and I relate to so much stuff down here or over here that it is, I could see how somebody would struggle with that, like not knowing, okay, I'm above that now, because it's still like you want to still be relatable.
Especially since she did have such a quick come up overnight. I mean, 2 years ago, she wasn't as big as she was. So now, you know, she hasn't had time to grow because everything's been so fast paced from her, you know, this evolution that she's had. She's evolved as far as her financial status and her music and getting platinum and gold albums and Grammys and stuff. But as far as mentally, she hasn't matured as fast as her career has evolved. Right.
And that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And when you're able to factor that stuff in, you can't have empathy for someone such as herself. But a lot of people, you know, for other artists and stuff like that, you know, some of them, they've been putting out this music for years and years. And even I've watched, just even if you see like even Jay-Z, his music has evolved over time. Like to me, there should be some evolution that happens internally, like with anybody over time. But when you're on such a dynamic platform, why would you use it to promote bullshit? You know what I mean? That's
People selling their souls.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, in this country, they have tried to fight against it in some ways. Because I was reading about the 2 Live Crew obscenity trial when they came out with "Me So Horny," and he had to fight that. And that's where the parental advisory things came. They put them on the CDs, which is so weird that we don't even have really like we don't even think about CDs like that anymore. Like that's how much our technology has, evolved.
But see, that's the thing. Now everything is so easy access. You like you said, you used to have to go down to the to the record store and pick the CD out to be able to hear that, because on the radio they weren't playing the explicit version. I mean, my sister, she used to record off the radio, like
I did too.
record me songs off of. But of course, you're getting the edited version. You don't have to do that. But now it's with a click of a button. A lot of kids have phones or tablets. All you gotta do is click a button and you can get the explicit version. And then the kids know this, play it over and over and over, and they know the song by the end of the, you know what I mean? And it was funny. I remember, girl, I just think about it, little crazy, little young Bernica. I remember my mama used to do Miss, I used to say anything and just showing, I didn't even know what I was talking about. We used to have these VHS tapes, and they used to have like all these old videos on our old Salt and Pepper videos, old, Aaliyah. I mean, not even Aaliyah back then. It was like Tracy Spencer and just throwback videos. And I remember we used to watch them all the time, like every day we came home. And one of my mama's customers over, and her son was with her, and her son was there, playing or whatever. And I remember I said, "You so crazy. I think I want to have your baby." I didn't even know what I was saying. Like, I didn't even know what that meant. But, I got in so much trouble for it because they told on me that I said I wanted to have his baby, and I didn't even know what I was saying. But it just shows that, we repeat stuff, and we, kids just repeat what they hear.
It just comes in your mind.
That's it, But it's but it's also too, like, it's not society, the music's issue. If our kids, like, we really have to have a tighter realm on watching and monitoring what our kids are doing. I know, and I think
that's the thought process that I don't like as a society, because I feel like we should have a village mentality. You know what I mean? But it's not like it. It's like you and yours. You deal with you and yours. I'll deal with me and mine. And like I'm not responsible for what goes wrong with your kids or whatever. You know what I mean?
But they're clearly not, because this world is so big. It would be nice to have a village mentality, but there's so many different factors and so many different sectors and so many different people that relate to other people, that there are going to be the girls that relate to the Cardi, you know what I'm saying? And then there's going to be the girls that relate to the Ariana Grande.
But there are also going to be the girls who didn't grow up nothing like Cardi, don't know nothing about like that life, and they gravitate to that life because of Cardi. You know what I'm saying? They think, oh, I can go and be a stripper and then become a star.
Right. And I'm gonna be the producer while I'm stripping in the club, and then I'm gonna get on the show.
And they don't even know the other disadvantages of being in that lifestyle.
That's what I'm saying. And then they get hit with all the disadvantages, and they don't never get the, the pot of gold at the end of what they thought they was gonna get.
Because Cardi is a exception.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how, I mean, she's gotten to this place. I feel like her personality has gotten her in a lot of doors.
Definitely.
Because really it was what love and hip hop that really pushed her to the top.
Yeah. And people just love a good entertainer. People love good TV, and people that are gonna make them laugh. And she clearly can do all of those things,
Mm-hmm.
And she, like I say, and to me, at the end of the day, because I've met some ratchetest of the ratchetest, and then some of the most pretentious of the pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
And I would probably rather be around Cardi in her authenticity than to be around somebody that's so pretentious or so fake and so bougie or just so out of touch. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's how people look at it, that I rather, and I think that's the way that people look at Nicki, because Nicki can be looked at as fake, phony, like people would rather gravitate to somebody that's more real, that they can relate to, and how she thinks, how she talks, than to somebody like Nicki, who thinks she thinks she's better, and she's superior to most people. But,
and it's probably not even that she thinks that. You know what I mean? She just puts that out there.
Yeah.
But she does.
You
You think so?
Yeah, she's the queen, and she knows it. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, I ain't mad about it. I mean, you should have a level of a sense of self, a sense of pride about who you are and the accomplishments she's made. I think Nicki is the queen and she's really evolved, but she also is probably very narcissistic in the way that she thinks of herself just because she knows it.
Well, a lot of people that have reached that level of
Yes.
success have narcissistic traits.
Yeah.
So it doesn't surprise me, and that's definitely a topic that we got to get to.
Oh God, we getting there. We getting there.
We getting there.
But I want to go back to the, we were talking about like coping skills, like how music, because I think that's the fun, love, and the feel good part of it that I love when it comes to music. Because I think that's what me and you like really bonded over was music. Being friends. Just
you gotta hear this song.
You gotta hear this song, girl. And it cracks me up too when I think about that because I know like, oh my God, like there used to be like songs when I was going through a tough time that I couldn't even listen to. Like I would hear it and immediately cut it off because I knew I was about to start getting the feels. But now I listen to it and it don't make me feel no kind of way.
But it's funny because I listen to certain music just so I can feel. So like it's funny, which is a gospel song, but there's a song called Alabaster Box by CeCe Winans. Anytime I'm really going through something, I feel like I need just to let it all out.
Yes.
Girl, I would just lay on the floor on my back and I would just listen to that song and just cry until I can't cry no more. And then I'm done and I'm good.
Yes.
And but it's only been a few times where I done got that, filled up that I just needed to like release in that way. But her voice is so angelic and the words, I just feel very good after I listen to it. I get my little cry out and I'm good. But even just that is my coping skill. Music is my coping skill. I would rather listen to music than watch TV. The only thing that has me debating that in my mind is the Game of Thrones. But other than that, I could do without most TV.
Yeah.
But I do love music as a coping skill. And I love people. And I think that's why I get kind of bitter about what I hear on the radio, because I'm like, am I listening to the wrong radio station? Like,
no,
where do they play? Where do they play this music at? Like, and I guess Pandora, because you can kind of like you can put an artist in and listen to music that's related to that genre, that type of music. But it's just, what's out here, what's on our radios, like soon as you get in the car is a lot of 95% of it is detrimental.
Yeah, it's when you think about it, I remember my mama, she used to like, don't put that radio station in on my car. Like, we can only listen to 101.3. But shoot, now 101.3 has all the, what she used to call it, sex in the midnight songs. I don't want to hear that sex in the midnight on my radio. But I mean, that's what it is now. Like it's like every channel, you can't get away from it. You can't get away from it, and that's just what it is. Unless you make your own playlist from your own phone.
That's true. But I miss 90s R&B. I miss when men just really like loved on women. You know what I mean? Like they really put like getting the right woman or getting a woman or being with a woman was like top priority. And now
you remind me of a girl that I yeah, give me some of that old Usher My Way. Like,
Yeah. Or even, I mean, I'm talking about Jodeci. I'm talking about,
you're right.
Like H-Town. I'm talking
like
about when intros. But I feel like
almost with that. I feel like almost though, like the Usher My Way era moving forward is where it started to change.
Well, I think with R. Kelly is where it started to change, because I feel like R. Kelly is who brought the vulgarity to R&B. Yeah. Because even 12 Play, it was the first time I had ever heard like about oral sex in a R&B song. But I mean, he did it discreetly, I guess, as discreetly as it looked. But he like, that's when I'll get down on my knees and give you some 12 Play, after he done said all this other stuff when you come to his room and all that. Boy. But I just miss when music was just, I do miss feel good music. But I feel like Diddy is trying to, don't it seem like Diddy wants to bring that back?
Yeah.
Because it seems like he's been doing, like, he'll have his little videos where he be dancing to something that he understands the impact that music has. Yeah. And so he'd be like, let's go back, let's take it back. And I hope that they do, because what's out right now, like, there's not a lot of artists, even R&B wise, that I really want to hear right now. So I listen to the same stuff over and over again.
Exactly. And I like Bruno Mars. I feel like he's really he's so eclectic. Like he has such a wide range of music that he can make. To where even in that Please Me song with him and Cardi B, I love that song.
Now I love that song because of him.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say, because he really shows his range on there, and he took it all the way back. Yeah, he did wonderful on that. So I mean, I feel like it can be done, but it's just about what people are choosing to put out there. Like, even me, honey, Chris Brown, he can't do no wrong, and he talks the nastiest of the nastiest. But his beats,
he dance like he's nasty too.
Girl, I know he is. But the beats, the lyrics, and just the way he puts it together, he's a genius. So of course, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he makes you excuse it.
He does.
Because,
yeah,
he makes you curious.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, you doing all that, huh?
Yeah. Love Chris.
But I mean, but he's like a
he's
sex
a true
symbol
artist
though.
too.
He
He's a
also
true
like
artist.
is a sex symbol. Like, you have your people in every like Rihanna. Rihanna is a sex symbol. Like a lot of people I don't think see, even probably Beyonce, the way they see Rihanna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't help that she makes sexy lingerie.
Right. Right. And that she just puts lava glitter all over her body too, because
she's tight.
She's everything. But yeah, music is just one of those things that it's almost like using it at your discretion. And I know, like I say, being raised Jehovah's Witness, that's one thing they always used to talk about, how, the messages in the media and the way that it comes through the music and through the television. Whereas now, they've evolved so much to where they have their own network, their own organization, their own website where you can watch TV shows and stuff that they make. Yeah, they have
no idea.
They have a which I've been there. It's called Bethel in New York, but they have like their own headquarters, where they have production companies. They have everything so that they can make their own media, their own movies, their own videos, their own films for their people, for their, organization, so that they can watch wholesome shows. They have cartoons for kids. I let Stefan watch them, that's more wholesome cartoons, because even in the cartoons these days, oh my goodness, the stuff that I'm like, cut that off. What are they talking about?
I know it. And even on YouTube, they got all them little cartoon YouTubes that aren't the actual cartoons, that they actually are, just vulgar and stuff. And I'm just like I might hear a word or something like, London, what are you listening to? What are you watching? And it's like you constantly have to be paying attention, because they slipping it in everywhere.
Yes. And that's why, if you're a spiritual person and whatever you believe in, the devil, the Lucifer,
even with sexuality, like they even like homosexuality, they starting to put it into the cartoons.
Yes.
The kids' cartoons. I may be trying to help them, I guess, maybe be accepting of other people. But I mean, I don't know what other, it's maybe other messages that can be derived from it too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it's definitely infiltrating everything. And that's why you got to be on guard, as to what you allow to come in, and also just be very aware of what it is that your kids are listening to and what they put out there, because you can't put them in a bubble. You can't shelter them 24/7. They're going to learn things from their peers at school, but you have to kind of have some sort of interaction with them to, just
to be able to
know what they're listening.
Yeah.
Just monitor if you're paying for that phone, you should be able to kind of see what they've been listening to, because you just never know what it is that these kids is learning. And then of course, them being subjected to certain things causes curiosity. And from there, but I kind of would like to be, when Peyton, he's like, I want to listen to music. I'm like, well, turn it on, don't put earphones on, cut it on, so we put it on speakers so we can all hear it. You know?
But sometimes in my car, I cut on something for them, and then I have to listen to the music I want to listen to in my own earphones.
Exactly. And that's okay
because
too.
I have to guard them, from even some of the stuff that I listen to. But like I said, I'm mature enough to filter.
Yeah.
They don't have that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's the conversation that could go on for forever, because there's so many messages in music. But we thank you guys for tuning in to the Tiddy Pow. If you need to reach us, we can be found on Instagram at the Tiddy Pow, on Facebook, the Tiddy Pow. And also, if you need to send us anything, or you have any ideas or suggestions on how we can be better, you can reach us at thetiddypow@gmail.com. So guess we're going to be out for today.
We'll be out. We'll be back next week. Back and better.
Back and better.
It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow.